What is it that can sometimes create health or disease regardless of our diet, our medications, our lifestyle? There's one thing that can be an obstacle. Sometimes I see patients, they do everything right. And despite seeing some of the best doctors, they're still not at their health goal, or really not even near it. What can be the missing piece of health that is vital and very, very often overlooked? Well, what is it? Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Good Gut Feeling podcast, where we digest modern medicine with old world wisdom. Today, we have a really, really special topic to really get to the bottom of your health journey. But before we start, just a couple of words. This episode and all our prior episodes and all our future episodes are for educational purposes only. They don't take the place of medical advice from your doctor. What are we going to jump right into? Something very, very exciting. What is it that can sometimes create health or disease regardless of our diet, our medications, our lifestyle? There's one thing that can be an obstacle. Sometimes I see patients, they do everything right. Everything, their diet is perfect. Their lifestyle is great. They wake up on time, they get plenty of sleep, they go to bed early, they exercise, they eat healthy, they eat early, they do intermittent fasting, they exercise, you name it. And despite seeing some of the best doctors, they're still not at their health goal, or really not even near it. And then you see some people kind of like winging it, not really making a great effort, and sometimes they do well. So what's the discrepancy between the people who are killing it and without even trying, and then the people who are struggling, micromanaging every little detail, all their food, their schedule, their exercise schedule, their sleep schedule, they're meditating? What is it? And I've had those patients, and sometimes it's frustrating because you're thinking, well, what am I missing? And what am I missing? And I learned what can be the missing piece of health that is vital and very, very often overlooked. Well, what is it? It is mindset. What do I mean by mindset? Well, mindset means, do I believe I can be healed? Do I believe I'm worthy of being healed? Do I believe that it's impossible for me to be healed, but I'm going with emotions? And I learned this. I had a patient who came to me. He wasn't in such bad shape. He wasn't at his health goal, but he was in such bad shape, and he was eating healthy. He was at a good weight. He was exercising. He was referred to me from one of the leading functional medicine doctors in New York. And he came to me and he said, you know what? I'm going to do everything you say, and I have been doing everything you say, but no one's been able to help me, and most likely you will not be able to help me either. Well, guess what? I wasn't. And it was sad, because the truth is, it wasn't something that should have been so difficult to treat, but he believed I wasn't going to be able to do it. In fact, he believed that no one was going to be able to do it. And the truth is, he believed that he was not able to be healed, was not able to be healthy. And that is the mindset that can block health, even in the context of doing everything else that's right. So how do we know what is our mindset? How do we work on our mindset? So many of us, especially if we're kind of burnt out, if we've been trying for a long time and it hasn't worked, we come into the situation with our old mindset. Okay, well, it didn't work last time. Why would it be different? And sometimes, we can try, we can work on ourselves, and we can do all the right things, and it doesn't work, because that pervasive belief system sits deep in our subconscious and is preventing us from healing. I've seen people who are very sick, who have had multiple surgeries, who are truly in dire straits, and they have gotten better. and they have gotten well. They have made miraculous recoveries. And then I have seen patients who were not so sick, you can say, who maybe had a little bloating, or maybe their bowels were not perfect, or a little abdominal discomfort, something that was not so serious, but they were not able to budge. And I started looking into this. Because it didn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Okay, the super sick person, multiple surgeries, really kind of like at the end of his health journey, like there was no hope almost. Make a miraculous turnaround. And then there is the person who's doing like pretty good, but not great and not there yet, but really wants to get there consciously, really doing all the physical effort to get there consciously, but subconsciously is blocking themselves. I've seen that too many times to ignore it. And this to me is a warning sign that this person needs a shift. So how do we shift it? Many of us can have this actually with other things. It doesn't only have to be with health. We have belief systems that we cannot be wealthy, we cannot be successful, we cannot X, Y, Z, you name it. But with regards to our health goals, we can actually block our health despite doing all the right things. How do we do it? One of the ways that we need to start is to check in. What is it that could be blocking me? I will say that our subconscious mind is very powerful. It's very common for us to sometimes be our worst enemy, and it's actually normal. I'll give you a personal example for me. I was supposed to go away for a weekend, and I really didn't want to go. And then I got a fever and I felt sick. And luckily I had someone to check in with. And that person was like, it's not that you're sick. You're sick, but you're not sick. You can get better very quickly, but you don't want to go. So admit you don't want to go. Your subconscious mind created an illness, and work on yourself, work on your mindset. And I did. My fever broke in hours and I was feeling fine. So I know we can create illness sometimes as a secondary gain. Is there something that I'm gaining from being sick? Now you may think, okay, that's really like mentally ill, but it's not. It's really normal. It's really normal when we really don't want something subconsciously. We may not want to admit it to ourselves. We may not be able to change it. So sometimes there's a benefit. Like, okay, so yeah, it sucks to have a fever, but it sucks more to go to this place or whatever gain. So sometimes we need to think, what am I benefiting from my disease or my illness? Is there anything? Maybe nothing. It may be nothing. But that's the first step. The second step, do I believe I can be healed? How do I know I can believe I can be healed? Well, I check in with myself. Can I visualize myself completely healthy? Is it really hard for me? Can I see myself perfect in my bodily functions, perfect in my energy level? Can I visualize that to a detail that it is clear? And when I do that, how does that feel? Does that bring me joy? If it brings me joy and I can visualize it, then just keep visualizing, because it's just a matter of time to get to your goal. But sometimes it's hard to see it. I can't even see myself healthy. I've had patients who I've spoken openly like this to me and they started crying. I can't even imagine myself healthy. That's the first layer. That's the first layer we need to work on. Create a belief system. Positively brainwash yourself. How do we do it? We can do it multiple ways. One way is visualization, and keep visualizing and practice until you can see yourself at your health goal and it brings you a positive feeling. It brings you joy. It brings you a feeling of accomplishment, brings you a feeling of fulfillment. Whatever it is, visualize yourself there. If you can't, you keep trying. And if you keep trying and you can't, then let's try another option. What's the other option? Create a mantra. Create a positive phrase that exemplifies your goal. So I am completely healthy, revitalized, energized, and healed, if that's what you're looking for, or whatever it is. I am healthy and wealthy. You keep saying it to yourself. You keep saying it to yourself over and over and over. And sometimes it's good to say that in the mirror. Say it in the mirror multiple times, whatever that blockage you feel might be. So for some people, there's certain goals that seem unreachable. And for some people who have been chronically ill and have been there and done that many times over with many doctors, with many diets, with many medications, with many supplements, it very disheartening. It is discouraging, and it's painful to keep failing, I keep trying so hard and I'm not achieving my goal. It's painful. It's difficult. It's disappointing. So why would I keep going? Why would I keep trying? This is the breaking point. We need to say, no, that was yesterday. Today is a different day. Tomorrow is a different day. And I start from scratch. I can be healed. It's very important. Get someone to help you find that, a friend, a mentor, a doctor, whoever that is, help you determine that and work on it, because our accomplishments and our goals are limited by our imagination. So if I can see myself healthy and then I take all the steps to be healthy, then I can be healthy. But if I take all the steps to be healthy and I don't believe that I'm actually going to reach, and I'm just going through the motions because that's what I got to do, that's what someone told me I got to do, that's what my parents told me to do, that's what my doctor told me to do, it's not going to work like that. And this is the stumbling point of the people who I see who unfortunately do not make it. And I work very hard with them. And there are a number of them who are able to overcome it, because that's just another challenge. It's just another obstacle. For some people, it's their diet, and for some people, it's their belief system. None of it is a permanent obstacle. Everything is an obstacle until we can move it. Everything is a challenge until we overcome it. So if you are feeling overwhelmed, you have been sick for many years, you feel this is it, I am done, I've tried X, Y, and Z, there's nothing I haven't tried, I eat clean, I stay away from my phone at night, I meditate, I exercise, I go to bed early, I've seen every functional medicine doctor, I've seen every traditional doctor, I've had all the medical treatments and I'm not there. It's time to check in. Maybe it's my belief system. Maybe I've limited myself in my accomplishments. I truly believe that if you can visualize yourself there, you can be there. And that is a very important first step, because there's no technology that's as powerful as the human mind. Nothing, and not even as the human body. So all we really need is to empower our body, to balance our body, to empower our mind, our subconscious mind, our imagination to work for us, to help us get there. I encourage you all to work on this, to find that unmovable block, that obstacle, whether it's a health issue, whether it's another issue, and move it with your subconscious mind, with your positive thinking, with consistency, with the right attitude, with imagination, and you can create miracles in your life. Thank you, everyone. Stay healthy, stay gutsy. I look forward to seeing you all next week. If you like this content, please find us on www.wholegut.com. There's so much content out there.